guys, I'm here in my kitchen. I am using a underutilized resource here. We have a bunch of potatoes that we have left in cold storage, and my favorite variety is Mondak Gold. And I love to make potato salad this time of the year. You can make a big batch, throw it in the fridge, and it's there as, you know, the side dish for if you want to throw some hamburgers on the grill. I love to have it on hand. So I wanted to show you my process for making potato salad. First, let me show you the potatoes that I'm using. So these are some of the Mondak Gold potatoes I still have downstairs in the basement. I just have them stored in a pail. And we have a well pit, and we keep potatoes beautifully down in that well pit. So, but I just had to show you these potatoes because they look like they came out of the ground. They have stored so beautifully. So this is Mondak Gold. I already peeled some of the potatoes here. This is what the flesh looks like. And now let me show you how I cut them up. The most tedious part about making potato salad is cutting up the potatoes, of course. And so I have a little handy device here that I use all the time. So I picked this up on eBay a couple years ago. This one is an Echo French fry cutter. I don't know how much I paid for it, 10-15 bucks plus shipping probably. And anyway, I just love it. I use the larger, there's two size cutters, and I use the larger cutter so you can see approximately how it slices them. And then I quarter the potatoes, and I'm just going to show you how I actually put the potatoes in there. So I set them in so the flat side is against the pusher, so you can see how it just shoves them right through. And so then I can take and slice these pieces that I've cut with this French fry cutter into cubes, just right for potato salad. Any spots you see, you might want to just cut those out. Any imperfections, little pieces that maybe get squished as you're pushing it through the French fry cutter. And oh, I love these little mats because you can just pick them up and dump them in the bowl. So, and I don't worry about the one that's in there. I just cut the next, quarter the next potatoes and use those to shove that last one through. And just keep going until you get all your potatoes cut up. And I generally do a batch of about 6 potatoes or so, depending on their size. It's just so handy. It just makes this job so much faster than having to sit there and slice. I now use my Insta Pot. This has made making potato salad so much easier. I can have the potatoes cooked in minutes. So I put a stainless steel metal strainer in. You can see I put about 1 inch of water at the bottom, just under the level of the strainer. And then I start adding the potatoes. I like to salt as I go, so I add a little bit of potatoes, salt, more potatoes, and then salt the next layer again, and so forth. That way all the potatoes will be seasoned just right. Then I just lock the lid and set the valve on top to sealed. I set the Insta Pot on manual high pressure and 8 minutes, and that's all it takes. So while the potatoes are cooking, I make my homemade mayo, and it calls for 1/4 cup of vinegar, 3/4 cup of water, and then you mix in 1/3 cup of flour, a teaspoon of sugar, and a teaspoon of salt. Mix that up, and then just mix it into your vinegar water mixture. Stir it up real good. Next, prepare 2 beaten eggs. Now heat up your vinegar, water, flour mixture over medium heat until it thickens. And then add your 2 beaten eggs and your olive oil all at once and stir vigorously. The goal is to blend the oil into the mixture really well. After adding the oil and the raw eggs, make sure you bring your mixture back up to a boil and cook for at least a minute. You want to make sure those eggs are completely cooked, and all the while stir vigorously so that you don't have separation of the oils and no clumping. After removing from the heat, let it cool for a little bit, and then I float it in a larger pan of cold water just to cool it more quickly. And then I just squirt a teaspoon or so of mustard in my mixture and stir that up. As soon as the timer goes off, I take the Insta Pot outside and release the pressure out there so you don't have that steam in the house. Then I bring it back in the house and remove the lid. Let it cool for a little bit before draining the water. I just use a lid to drain the potatoes, drain the water right into the sink. Be careful not to burn yourself with any hot steam that might still be escaping. And then I spread the potatoes out on a cookie sheet to finish cooling before I actually mix the potato salad. And while that's cooling, I peel the eggs. And then it's time to mix. I dump the potatoes into a big bowl, add the salad dressing and about a cup of sour cream. Slice the eggs, and I slice them both ways so I have smaller pieces. And then depending on the thickness of your sour cream, you might have to add a little bit of milk just to get the desired consistency. I add milk and sometimes use some creamer, so I have some whole cream sitting there as well. So I just use whatever gives me the consistency that I'm looking for. And finally, I'll add some mustard. And if you like onions in your potato salad, now would be the time to add some diced onions, or you can add some onion powder, just seasoned to taste. I love to make this recipe on a weekend, and it'll take us through the better part of a week to finish this off. Or it's great if you need to feed a large crowd. Thanks for joining me here in our farmhouse kitchen. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks, and see you again next time.